The fog was there before the ship. On the morning of June 18th, 1783, it hangs over Le Havre. It does not hide the harbour, it stains the light, turning white facades yellow-brown and the sun red behind smoked glass. 10 days earlier, a fissure opened near Laki in Iceland. Its sulphurous haze has crossed the sea, though no one in Le Havre knows it. In Saint-François, the sailors' quarter, laundress Madeleine Leclerc has had linen on the line since sunrise. Nothing will dry. When she wrings out a collar, her eyes burn. A bitter taste coats her tongue.
The air gets any thicker, I might as well leave the washing in the harbour.
Nicolas Vautrin stands a few paces away on the mole. He is 47 and oversees quarantine in the harbour. When illness is suspected aboard an arriving vessel, he decides whether its people and cargo may come ashore.
The fog is not thick. You can see well beyond the harbour entrance.
Then explain to my eyes why they have been burning since morning.
Nicolas takes a handkerchief from his coat pocket and wipes his face.
Mine are burning as well. That makes the fog unusual. It does not yet make it dangerous.
You do not sound particularly convinced.
Conviction is for priests. I have to decide which ships may dock.
Madeleine looks out across the water. Her husband, Etienne, serves as helmsman aboard a merchant vessel due to return that day from Saint-Domingue, the French colony in the Caribbean. He has been gone for nearly 5 months. The ship carries coffee, sugar, and cotton from a colony whose plantations are worked by enslaved people. Madeleine is not waiting for its cargo. She is waiting for the man at its helm. Shortly before noon, the ship appears beyond the mole. Its sails are grey in the discoloured light. It approaches the harbour entrance, slows and raises a signal. Nicolas lifts his telescope.
Is it his ship?
Yes, but something is wrong.
A harbour boat rows out. The merchant vessel remains anchored in the roadstead outside the harbour. No one climbs down into the boat. Instead, the captain lowers a sealed leather pouch. When the boat returns, Nicolas opens it. Inside are the ship's papers and a hastily written list. Madeleine watches his face.
What does it say?
6 men are ill. 2 can no longer stand without assistance. The captain reports fever, coughing, and difficulty breathing.
And Etienne?
Nicolas reads the names a second time.
He is not on the list. The captain writes that your husband is still fit for duty.
Then let him come ashore. He does not have to remain with the sick.
No one leaves that ship until the harbour surgeon has examined the men.
Madeleine points towards the yellow-brown sky.
This fog was here before the ship arrived. Half the city is rubbing its eyes, and your own voice is already hoarse.
I cannot place the fog under quarantine. I can keep a ship carrying 6 sick men out of the harbour.
What if they have merely breathed the same air as the rest of us?
Then they lose a few days. If it is not the air, the city may lose far more than that.
You speak as though you know what is happening out there.
No, I am holding the ship because I do not.
At his order, the quarantine flag is raised. The vessel drops its second anchor. No rope is brought ashore. No gangplank is lowered. Madeleine sees a figure standing at the rail. She cannot make out his face, but she recognizes the way he stands. Etienne raises one arm. Madeleine raises hers. Only the harbour water lies between them. The ship remains outside. The fog is already ashore. The first document says the ship is healthy. The second contains the names of 6 sick men. By late afternoon, Nicolas has returned from the ship with its logbook and bill of health, a certificate stating whether contagious disease was known at the port of departure. This one bears the seal of Cap Français, the colonial port in Saint-Domingue from which the ship sailed. According to the certificate, no contagion was present. According to the men lying below deck, something has changed.
You said you would tell me about my husband.
Etienne has no fever. He is still on his feet, although he is coughing and complains that his eyes burn.
Then he has the same complaints as half the people standing on this quay.
3 of the men have a high fever. 1 no longer knows where he is. That is not the same thing.
When did the first man fall ill?
Yesterday afternoon, after the ship entered the channel. The captain claims that everyone was healthy before then.
Do you believe him?
I believe that his log was written before he knew there would be questions.
And the certificate?
It tells me that no disease was reported when they left Saint-Domingue. It cannot tell me what happened during the weeks that followed.
Behind them, a porter lowers a crate and begins to cough. Another man presses a sleeve against his mouth. Nicholas watches them before returning his attention to the papers.
How many people must begin coughing on land before you admit that the ship may not be responsible?
A cough is not a fever. Burning eyes are not delirium. I cannot declare 2 illnesses identical because they arrived on the same day.
But you can imprison my husband because they arrived together.
I can prevent him from coming ashore. That is not the same as declaring him guilty of anything.
It will feel the same to him.
My duty is not to decide how it feels. My duty is to keep an unknown illness out of the city.
The harbour surgeon has examined the 6 men without bringing them ashore. He cannot name the illness. He has found inflamed throats, weak breathing, and 3 different fevers. Nicholas orders the sick men transferred at first light to the Lazaret du Hoc, a walled quarantine station outside the main harbour. The remaining crew will stay aboard.
If those men are too weak to stand, they should be taken to the hospital.
If the illness is contagious, the hospital is the worst place for them. Every bed there already holds someone weakened by injury or disease.
What can the lazaret offer them?
They will have beds, water, and visits from the surgeon. More importantly, they will remain separated from the city.
A locked gate is not a treatment.
No, it is distance. At present, distance is the only protection I can provide.
Etienne is not on the list. Why must he remain aboard?
Because he has shared their water, their food, and their sleeping quarters for weeks. If I bring him ashore tonight, there is no purpose in holding the others tomorrow.
May I send something to him?
Clean linen, food, and a letter. Nothing that reaches the ship may be returned.
You believe the sickness can hide in cloth?
I believe it may. Until we know more, may is enough.
Madeleine returns to Saint-François and selects 2 shirts from the line. They are still damp. She folds them anyway and begins a letter she is not permitted to receive an answer to. On Nicholas's desk, the bill of health lies beside the list from the ship. One declares that no contagion left Cap Français. The other carries 6 names. At first light, the 6 sick men are taken from the ship to the Lazaret du Hoc. Etienne remains aboard. By the following evening, his name has been added to their list. Madeleine is waiting on the mole when Nicolas returns from the quarantine boat.
Your husband developed a fever during the night. The surgeon ordered him transferred before sunrise.
You told me he was still strong enough to work.
He was yesterday. He could barely stand this morning.
Then I want to see him.
The lazaret does not admit visitors. That would defeat its purpose.
I am not asking to enter. Let me speak to him from outside.
You will remain beyond the outer marker. You will pass him nothing and touch nothing that comes from inside.
I understand what a wall is, Monsieur Vautrin.
The wall is the simple part.
The Lazaret du Hoc stands apart from the busiest quays. Its stone wall surrounds a yard, several bare rooms, and a storehouse for goods suspected of carrying disease. Antoine Mercier, the harbour surgeon, meets them at the outer gate. He has treated scurvy, dysentery, and shipboard fevers for more than 20 years. The illness inside does not resemble any one of them.
You may speak for 10 minutes. If your husband becomes weak, I will end the visit.
I am not the one with the fever.
No, you are the one who would carry an illness back into the city.
Etienne is brought into the inner yard. A barred passage and 12 paces of empty ground remain between him and Madeleine. His face is pale beneath several weeks of beard.
You should not have come here.
I have waited 5 months for you to return. A wall was unlikely to stop me.
They gave me one of your shirts. It was still damp.
Nothing has dried since the fog arrived.
Nothing dried aboard either. The ropes, the sails, even our blankets felt wet, although there was no rain.
When did your eyes begin to burn?
After we entered the channel, the sun turned red in the afternoon. By evening, several men were coughing.
People are coughing throughout Saint-François. Whatever is in the air did not arrive with your ship.
The fever may be different. Fournier shivers beneath 2 blankets. Another man cannot remember where he sleeps. I only began burning last night.
Has anyone told you what it is?
Mercier asks questions. Nicholas writes down the answers. Neither of them gives the illness a name. Because it may not be one illness.
Then why are all of them being treated as though they suffer from the same thing?
3 men have fever. 2 struggle to breathe. 1 has been vomiting since yesterday. Nearly all complain of burning eyes and throats. Those symptoms may share a cause, or they may only share a ship.
The burning eyes are everywhere in the city.
That suggests the ship did not cause them. It tells me nothing certain about the fever.
Could the men be suffering from 2 different causes?
They could be suffering from 3. Quarantine is what we use when observation has not yet given us an answer.
And how long must Etienne remain here while you observe him?
Until no new fever appears, or until I understand what I am seeing.
What happens if neither of those things comes?
Then he remains where I can watch him without risking the rest of Le Havre.
Madeleine, do not come back tomorrow.
Then recover before I arrive.
You cannot argue a fever out of me.
No, but I can make certain you do not face it alone.
Mercier leads Etienne back inside. The inner door closes, but Madeleine can still hear him on the other side. The wall separates them. By June 27th, the haze has hung over Le Havre for 9 days. It leaves the streets dry, but keeps the sun red. On the quay, Madeleine watches a caulker put down his hammer to cough, while a woman nearby writes in a small notebook.
If you are counting the sick, begin with that man. I am counting how long the sun remains red. People are struggling to breathe, and you are writing about the colour of the sky. I am writing when the haze appeared, how far it reaches and whether it changes with the wind. Giving an illness a name before examining its surroundings would be less useful. My husband is behind the wall at the lazarette. I already know the surroundings of his illness.
Marie Le Golft is a Le Havre naturalist and chronicler. She has spent years recording the tides, animals, and daily life of the city. The haze is the first thing she has observed that seems to be everywhere at once.
Your husband came from the ship arriving from Saint-Domingue. It seems the whole city knows about that ship. People prefer a danger with a captain, a flag, and a place of departure. Do you know where the haze came from? No, but a pilot arriving from Dieppe saw the same red sun before he reached Le Havre. Men at Havre reported the haze before your husband's ship entered the roads. Then the ship did not bring it? It did not bring the haze. That does not prove it brought no other illness.
Nicholas approaches from the harbour office. He has spent the morning asking dock workers when their symptoms began.
Mademoiselle Le Masson gave me her observations yesterday.
Then why has nothing changed?
Because her notebook describes the air. It does not explain the fevers inside the lazarette.
It describes the air those men were breathing when their eyes and throats began to burn.
The city shares those complaints. It does not share their delirium or high fever.
Not yet.
That word is another reason to keep the gate closed.
Every new cough proves that you are right to be cautious. Every day without a new fever proves nothing at all.
Because the consequences are not equal. If I hold them too long, several men lose their freedom and wages. If I release them too soon, thousands may be exposed.
How many new fevers have appeared since Etienne was brought ashore?
None in the past 2 days.
Then record that beside the coughing in the city. Do not preserve one set of observations and ignore the other.
I do not choose the evidence. I have to choose an action.
Then take care that the action does not become the explanation. People in Saint-François already say the ship poisoned the air.
Nicholas, I have never told them that.
You raised a signal, stopped the ship and closed the lazarette. Then you said nothing. The city supplied the rest of the story itself.
If I announce that the ship is harmless and prove wrong, people will die because they trusted me.
You do not have to declare it harmless. You only have to admit that the ship cannot explain everything.
How many people have you seen with symptoms?
I recorded the haze, not the people.
Then we begin recording both.
A porter near the customs house. 2 women from my washroom. The corker behind us and one of the guards outside the lazarette.
Do any of them have fever?
Not that I know.
Then that is what we write. Coughing, burning eyes, and difficulty breathing, but no fever.
Under which heading?
Illness observed ashore.
Your superiors will not like that.
They instructed me to keep sickness outside the city. They did not instruct me to pretend it was not already here.
Then begin with the guard. He has been coughing for 3 days.
He will be the first name.
Fournier died shortly before dawn. His fever fell during the night, but his breathing never recovered.
Was it the same illness as Etienne's?
If I could answer that, I could tell you whether this wall is protecting anyone.
Fournier is the first man from the ship to die. Before his body has left the lazarette, the city's health commissioners send Nicolas a sealed order.
No member of the crew, no garment and no cargo may leave quarantine until further notice. All contact with the city is to cease.
They have forbidden letters because a man could not breathe.
They have forbidden everything because they do not know what killed him.
Neither do we. That is not the same as knowing everything aboard is dangerous.
No, but it is enough to justify caution.
Madeleine arrives with clean linen and food for Etienne. Nicholas meets her outside the gate before she can approach the usual speaking place.
Why are you stopping me here?
One of the sailors died this morning. All visits have been suspended.
Is Etienne alive?
His fever is lower, but his breathing has worsened.
Then take him to the hospital.
The order forbids anyone from leaving the lazarette.
That order was written before Mercier examined him this morning.
It was written because another man died this morning.
Then one death has made you more willing to risk a second.
It has made the possibility of contagion harder to dismiss.
You know the ship did not bring the haze.
Yes, the order concerns the fever, not the haze.
The people outside this wall no longer understand that distinction.
The distinction is the reason the order remains defensible.
Etienne does not require the hospital yet. If his breathing worsens again, that may change.
What can you do for him here?
I can keep him upright, give him water and try to lower the fever. If he can no longer draw enough breath, the lazarette has neither the staff nor the equipment to help him.
Then the wall may protect the city by killing the men inside it.
And opening it may protect 7 men by endangering thousands.
The guard I named yesterday has been sent home with a fever. He was never inside.
He handled baskets and linen from the lazarette.
He also breathed the same air as everyone else in Le Havre.
Both explanations are possible.
Every possibility seems to lead you back to the same locked gate.
Because keeping it closed is the only decision I can reverse later.
Fournier's death cannot be reversed.
I know.
Quarantine remains reasonable while we cannot exclude contagion. Leaving men where they cannot receive proper treatment is a separate decision.
What are you asking me to do?
Request permission to move Etienne before it becomes an emergency. If we wait until he collapses, there will be no time left for letters and seals.
The commissioners are unlikely to approve it after today's death.
Then make them refuse before my husband is too weak to survive their answer.
Mercier, Write exactly what will happen if Etienne remains here and his breathing deteriorates.
I will give you the report before noon.
Madeleine, give me the guard's name and address. His fever will be reported beside the illnesses aboard the ship.
And until the commissioner's answer?
No one leaves today, but they will not be allowed to claim that they were never warned.
Take another breath and hold it for as long as you can.
You keep asking me to do the one thing I cannot.
I'm asking because yesterday you could still do it.
Then write down that yesterday was better.
It is the morning after Fournier's death. Etienne's fever has fallen, but he can no longer cross the room without stopping for breath. Nicholas arrives with the commissioner's answer to Mercier's request.
They have refused the transfer. No one may leave the lazarette while fever remains among the crew.
Etienne may not survive long enough to provide them with a fever-free interval.
They consider Fournier's death proof that the quarantine must remain absolute.
It proves that Fournier died. It does not prove where his illness began.
The guard's fever has strengthened their suspicion. He handled baskets and linen from inside.
He also breathed the same air as the rest of Le Havre. They are using every uncertain fact as evidence for the conclusion they already prefer.
Keeping the gate closed is still the safer decision.
For the people outside it.
What can the hospital do that you cannot?
It has more attendants, better bedding, and an apothecary within the building. Here I have 7 patients, 1 assistant, and whatever arrives in a basket.
Can the hospital cure him?
No. It can give him a better chance of surviving whatever this is.
Madeleine is allowed to stand beyond the outer marker. Etienne is too weak to enter the yard, so Mercier opens the infirmary window and places a chair beneath it.
They refuse to move you.
That may be for the best.
You cannot walk across a room.
I can still breathe well enough to disagree with you.
Mercier says the lazarette cannot care for you if your breathing becomes worse.
If I carry a fever into the hospital, other people may become ill.
The guard developed a fever without entering this building.
He touched our baskets.
You do not know that the baskets made him ill.
And you do not know that they did not.
They have turned your life into a question that everyone except you is permitted to answer.
Then ask me.
Do you want to remain here?
I do not want someone else to die because I was frightened of dying alone.
That is not an answer.
If Mercier believes I can remain safely, I stay. If he says I must be moved, then move me. I will accept the risk, but I will not die for a sealed order.
I will tell Nicolas.
Tell him I said it before I became too weak to sound convincing.
Shortly after sunset, Etienne's breathing suddenly worsens. Mercier sends for Nicholas. By the time he arrives, Etienne can no longer finish a full sentence.
He must be transferred tonight.
The commissioners have not changed their order.
His lips are darkening, and he cannot remain conscious. If we wait for another answer, there will be no patient left to move.
Can he survive the journey?
Possibly. He will not survive another night here.
How would you contain the risk?
A closed cart, a separate room, and attendants who enter no other ward. Everything travelling with him remains there or is burned.
Prepare the cart and bring Etienne to the inner gate. Do not open it yet.
How much time do you need?
Enough to read the order once more and decide whether it was written to protect a life or to excuse a death.
He cannot wait any longer.
I know.
Then open the gate.
The order expressly forbids me from doing that.
The order is not struggling to breathe on the other side.
If Etienne carries a contagious fever into the hospital, every patient there will be placed at risk.
A separate room has been cleared in the rear ward. Etienne will enter through the service yard, and the attendants caring for him will enter no other room.
Will that contain the danger?
It will reduce it. I will not promise more than I know.
And if he dies during the journey?
Then he dies while we are trying to save him, not while we are waiting for permission.
You already know what must be done. You are only searching for a sentence in that order that will forgive you for doing it.
There is no such sentence.
Then stop looking.
Mercier, you will travel inside the cart with him. The doors remain closed until you reach the hospital.
Agreed.
Everything inside the cart remains in the isolation room or is burned. No attendant enters another ward until you release them.
The hospital has accepted those conditions.
Madeleine, you may follow the cart, but you will not enter the hospital.
I will remain outside.
If anyone approaches the cart, you send them away.
You are giving me an order now.
I am giving you something useful to do.
That is the first sensible order I have heard today.
Nicholas breaks the wax seal securing the inner gate. Mercier and an attendant bring Etienne out on a narrow stretcher. He is conscious, but each breath interrupts the next.
Etienne, Mercier wants to move you to the hospital. There is a risk that your fever may endanger others. He explained it. I need to hear your decision from you.
Move me.
Do you understand that you will remain isolated there?
If I can still answer your questions, I can still decide where I am taken.
I will follow behind the cart.
You always do the opposite of what I ask.
Only when you are wrong.
That seems to happen often when I am ill.
Then recover before it becomes a habit.
The cart is brought inside, and Etienne is lifted aboard. Nicholas removes the final bar from the outer gate. For the first time since the quarantine began, both gates stand open.
Once we leave, do not stop us for another inspection.
Go directly to the hospital. I will take responsibility for the broken order.
Responsibility will not protect you from the commissioners.
No, it protects them from having to guess who made the decision.
The cart passes through. Nicholas closes the gate immediately behind it and returns the bar to its brackets. Madeleine waits until the cart reaches the road before following at a distance.
What will you tell them?
That at 10:43 in the evening, I authorized the transfer of one quarantined patient on the written advice of the harbour surgeon.
Will you mention that the patient was my husband?
His name will be included.
And if the fever spreads through the hospital?
Then the decision may prove to have been wrong.
Would you still make it?
Yes.
The sun is white again. Wait until noon before you trust it. There is no red rim. Even the plaster on the hospital wall has lost its yellow cast.
It is August 1st, 1783. Madeleine and Marie are waiting outside the hospital while Nicholas completes Etienne's discharge papers. The dry haze has begun to disappear from Le Havre.
The ship will be released tomorrow morning. The surviving men have recovered, and no new fever has appeared aboard for more than 4 weeks.
Does that mean the quarantine worked?
That is what the commissioners have written.
What have you written?
That the quarantine was justified while contagion could not be excluded. I also recorded that coughing and difficulty breathing appeared throughout the city before any sailor came ashore.
Will that remain in their report?
Not in the summary posted at the harbour.
Then why include it?
Because the full register may outlive the summary.
Then I will write down the dates.
Dates prove very little.
Mercier emerges from the hospital with Etienne beside him. Etienne walks without assistance, but slowly enough that the distance to the gate exhausts him.
You look better than the last time I saw you.
That is because the last time you saw me, I was being carried through a forbidden gate.
He may return home. He may not return to sea. The ship leaves tomorrow. Then it leaves without you. For how long? Several months, perhaps longer. One difficult crossing could undo everything your lungs have recovered.
The captain will replace me. He already has another helmsman. Then I have survived just in time to become unemployed.
I supported myself while you were away. I can do it for a little longer while you are home.
I'd expected to return with wages.
You returned alive. We will argue about the missing wages when you can climb the stairs without stopping.
On that point, She has given the correct medical advice.
This illness has created an alarming agreement between my wife and my surgeon.
Then recover quickly before it spreads.
What happened after you opened the gate, Monsieur Vautrin? I received a written reprimand for violating the quarantine order.
But you remain in office.
No fever appeared among the hospital patients. Removing me would have required the commissioners to explain why I opened the gate.
Do they believe you made the right decision?
They believe nothing disastrous followed it. Institutions often find that distinction sufficient.
Would you open it again?
For the same patient, under the same conditions, with Mercier giving the same warning, yes. That is reassuring, although I would prefer not to test it.
And the illnesses recorded in the city?
The coughing continued through July. Some people recovered quickly while others remained weak. No pattern matched the fever among the sailors closely enough to provide an answer. After all those lists, walls, and orders, you still do not know what made us ill.
I know that you did not all suffer from the same symptoms. Anything beyond that would be certainty invented after the event.
Do you believe the quarantine saved Le Havre? It may have protected the city from one illness.
And the one that made the whole city cough?
The quarantine could stop a ship. It could not stop the air.
In Le Havre, the dry fog eventually thinned. But the story of the summer of 1783 had travelled farther than the Haze itself. To follow it, we must return to late August and turn south, beyond the Mediterranean, to Cairo. There, disaster did not wait in the air. It waited below a mark cut into stone.